Tell you who else I met in Parkhurst when I was in there? Dominic Noonan. At that time, he was charged with an armed robbery, and he was doing 10 years. Later on, it all come out what he was all about and what happened to him. Do you know what I mean? Fiddling with kids and that. But when I was with him, and Paul Massey was with him, we was all on the same wing together. He decided one afternoon to come out of his cell with no clothes on, not having a pair of boxer shorts on.
Dominic.
Yeah. So he was walking all around the wing, completely stark naked. And they put him down the segregation unit. That's what he wanted, to get out of there, to get nearer home. Do you know what I mean? But I thought it was a little bit strange. There's ways to do it. Like, I was in Parkhurst, Shaun, and I wanted to get out of there bad because it was the Isle of Wight and all the screws were interbred. They all look alike. They're all on an island and they all shag each other's brothers and sisters. And that's the fucking truth. So if you've got a beef with one, you've got a beef with him and him and him and him. That's why it's such an horrible jail. When it was a Cat A jail, before the IRA got out of there, it was a top jail. But as soon as the IRA got out of there, they turned it into a B Cat and they started putting all wrong-uns in there, nonces in there, paedophiles in there. It was fucking terrible in there. So yeah, I see Dominic in there and he got shipped out. Where did I go after that? Parkhurst. I think it might have been.
Let's check our notes because there's so many.
I think it was. Yeah, it was. It was fucking Maidstone. Right, it was Maidstone.
I've got Long Lartin, Parkhurst, Whitemore on my notes. Maidstone then,
yeah,
which is quite close to here.
Yeah, Maidstone, Kent, and I'm sure it was Maidstone. Yeah, because first of all it was Higher Down, Belmarsh, Dovegate, Swellside. Then they sent me back to Parkhurst again. I've been back there twice on the same sentence, Parkhurst. Because if you got in trouble in a jail, Shaun, what they used to do, they used to use it like as a deterrent or a punishment. So in other words, they'd threaten you. Like, if you play up, the screws would say to you, you're going on the island. They used it as a weapon, do you know what I mean? It's an horrible jail, Parker. Really, really nasty jail.
Like going to Alcatraz.
Yeah, it was eerie and all, Shaun, do you know what I mean? You could see the writing on the walls. It was a very eerie place. I know there's some notorious names go through it, and I've been there quite a few times, but it changed from an A cat to a B cat, and it lost itself. Do you know what I mean? It was fucked. By the time I got there, it was fucked. So anyway, coming on to the story a bit. 2006, I went to, or 2005 or something like that, Shaun. I went to Maidstone. I met my mate in there, Mark, who I knew from around the back of the ice skating ring in Streatham. And the screws in there was totally and utterly different. You could cook your own food and they dropped you out. They left you alone. I got a job in a print shop. Come out of there, to be honest with you, 3 months before I was released, my stepdad died and we inherited 150 grand. So there's me and my two sisters, we inherited 150 grand. And this was 2006. So I went away in 98. So I was on my way home. And I had 50 odd grand in the bank, Shaun, do you know what I mean? I'd just done 7 or 8 years. But I was still in jail when my stepdad died and the house got sold. So after all them fucking years of me spending in jail, smoking crack and going in jail for crack, I was still smoking crack in 2006. And I was going through my money like it was water whilst I was inside. 2006, after doing that long.
That's a shame.
I got out. Fucking hell. After doing that long and I got out and I went straight back at it. Straight.
No.
I did straight back across the pavement. What I was doing before. After 12 years.
That's all you knew.
That's all I know. It's an addiction. That's what I've just put in the Inside Times in the newspaper. Razor's just done a big article in there on me. The hardest addiction to beat was armed robberies. Because you're in and out there so quick with thousands of pounds. It becomes addictions.
Adrenaline high.
It's an adrenaline. It's quick money. Things have changed now. Thank God. Do you know what I mean? With security screens and CCTV, and it's all changed now compared to what it was back in the day, Shaun. You couldn't get away with it now. Do you know what I mean? But that little light switch in my head hadn't switched yet. Do you know what I mean? And that was 2006 after it's got 12 years. So I come back out, got through 50 grand in 18 months. They have nothing to show for it. Skint. 50 grand later, 18 months later, skint. I only went back to what I knew. 2006. As luck had it, Shaun, someone must have been on my side because I got nicked for a burglary. A lot less than what I was doing, allegedly. Do you know what I mean? I did get nicked for a burglary on a commercial building, on a warehouse. It was a Hilti Tools or something like that on an industrial estate. I got 3 years. So, to be honest, that was like a saviour. And that was 2006. That was my life saviour. But I still hadn't learnt my lesson. So, was I going to die? Was I mapped out to die? Should I be here now, sitting here talking to you, Shaun? By rights, I shouldn't be, really. Considering what I've done to people, the fear I've put into people, and I've, So, yeah, 2006, I got 3 years. I got sent to Wayland, which was a Cat C jail. Same old faces every time you go in there. It's the same circle. Nothing changes. Nothing. You always meet the same people from years ago. It's the same circle of people. It's a vicious circle, mate, to get out of. And about 2007, I don't know what made me do it, but I got to put myself on an education course. And I thought, I've got to learn how to read and write. So I couldn't read and write. I didn't go to school much. Left school early. I still am a little bit dyslexic, I forget things. Mix up my words. Drug abuse. Years and years of fucking torture. Maybe so, do you know what I mean? But I'm still here to tell the tales now. And I'm fighting fit again, do you know what I mean? So 2007, 2006, I went into Wayland. Met all the same circle of friends. I was a prison tattooist. And I was in a CCAT, so we had a lot more freedom, which meant you can go on one wing to another wing to another wing. There was CCTV, but it was nowhere near like I wasn't used to. Do you know what I mean? And have a guess who I met in there again after all them years?
Mr. Big.
Ronnie O'Sullivan. In 2006. So I met him in 98 when I first went away with him. And when I went back in 2006, he was still in there.
No Yammy?
Did I see Yammy on that one? I think that's the only sentence I've ever done. That's the only sentence I've ever done where I ain't seen Yammy. We've been like that for fucking years. Years. He's had my back. I've had his back. We've done things together and we smoked together, and I'm so glad he's out. So anyway, yeah, I become a prison tattooist, Shaun. I was going across all the other wings, tattooing people, and there was an SO in there, a senior officer, and his name was Mr. And he was like, he was toying with the idea that he wanted a tattoo.
Because it's illegal to tattoo, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah.
Because of hepatitis and...
So a guard was going to get one.
So he kept on to me. This SO, Mr. He kept on to me. And he said, I've seen some of your work. You're fucking shit hot, Joe. He said, you wouldn't put my wife up my wrist, would you? Put her name up there. Claire. I thought it was a joke. I thought, couldn't believe it. One afternoon, he's come in. He said, right, he said, there's no one about. How long is it going to take? I said, 3 minutes. He said, get all the gear together quick. He put his arm on the table and I tattooed the screw.
I've never heard that before.
Tattooed the fucking screw.
Wow.
Put his wife on his wrist, Claire.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I've got all these tattoos. Look, these were done in jail.
Wow.
I've done that one in the mirror, Shaun.
Yeah, yeah.
They're prison tattoos.
Yeah.
100% crazy going across there. So yeah, I've become a tattooist in there and got notorious for being fucking a tattooist. I've done got put in education, learnt how to read and write, threw myself into Bible studies, completed the Alpha course, become a born again Christian, got baptised. I was coming back from Bible studies one night on the landing. There's a screw up the top, one down the bottom, waiting for me to come up the corridor. All of a sudden, I've got this warmth, got this feeling come around me. I had a big light come around me, and this is the truth. I had a big light come around me. Someone was going like that, come here, you're with me now, you're with me now. I got back to my cell and I told a few of my mates, and they said, that, you know what that was? That was your soul, that was God calling you. That was God saying, you've had enough now, come here. I want you, come with me.
Were you still partying up to this point?
No, because I was on Bible studies, and this was like 2007. So I'd knuckled down.
How hard was it just to stop? I mean, you've been going for years.
How hard was it? I had a choice to make, Shaun. So it wasn't hard. I got a hit 40, and I had a choice. You either carry on and get a life sentence, or now you stop and draw the line. That's enough. And that's what I've done.
Did you go through a withdrawal?
Yeah, I went through hell. Do you know what I mean? For a long, long time. Do you know what I mean? And I was getting a lot of triggers. I was having a lot of, even when I come out, I was having people come around my house, all my old mates coming back round to me. We've got a bit of work coming up, Joe. This is a bit of you. Good few quid in it for you. Do you know what I mean? Throwing it at my face. But I've met one of my sister's friends, her name's Sam. And she was going through problems with one of her exes. He was heavy-handed. He was beating her up on a daily basis, beating her bad. So Sam turned to drink, due to the bottle. And by the time I'd met her, she was a bit everywhere, to be honest, you know what I mean? But we clicked. For some reason, we just clicked. Something just connected. She'd been through so much with her past, her exes. She'd been through domestic violence all of her life. I'm totally against domestic violence. Even now, if I'm driving down the street and I see a man hitting a woman, I'll jump out of my car and that's it. It's on. I'm going to hit the man. Or not hit him, I'm going to grab him and pull him off. Do you know what I mean? Because of history repeating itself, what my stepdad done to my mum. So we gelled, do you know what I mean? We really fucking gelled. And yeah, I come out.